Welcome back to Refrain Chord. So back to the main.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We have that side quest with Erin that she wanted to check in the Kavari Desert, the Sword in the Sand. You might remember. So let's do that first.
Also, I just wanted to point out, even though supposedly this whole place is Zelwyn's, the map mentions that icon specifically as Zelwyn City. So is it like?
Yeah, Zelwyn is apparently the Zelwyn is the region or the country or whatever. Again, the world building in this franchise is so bad.
Okay, I was gonna ask, is it like how, you know, in the state of New York, the capital city...
I guess that's what they're going for, yeah.
Is Albany. The capital city is Albany, but we do have like a New York City within New York State.
To be fair, I guess that's what they're going for. The region as a whole is named after the big city in the middle. The problem is that, again, looking around is only those big mountains, so any territory that's outside that looks very impervious to actually go through. It's like how the city of Strange World is actually built upon.
When Final Fantasy VIII has better world building than you have a problem. Like,
wow, Pedro
again, well, like I said, this is still technically better than Eternal Sonata, though, because that one did not even add a war map.
Yeah, Eternal Sonata was like, technically had some...
you get an idea what the geography is like, but a war map would have been so helpful in giving it a bit of a better presentation.
Instead, you have basically a linear path and some fast travel back and forth between places.
Yeah. Hi, Apollonius.
Hi, Apollonius.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
For your non-appearing sister, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I do like that they keep that aspect of Apollonius. While he was an antagonist, he was never one to fight for injustice, per se.
Well, remember, even in the original game, that was that thing where we redeem him back to our side, except as long as you were above level 40, because as you might remember, I showed what happens when you don't have where he kills himself, and that's the end of him for the game. Like,
but at least you can join the Assassin's Creed.
Trademark.
Well, to be fair, Apollonius, what else could you do? I mean...
I get the idea he was contemplating if sacrificing himself, trying to save the children right there and there would have been better.
I guess.
Well, look at who...
Run away! Run away!
Go!
Remember, because their impression has been based on the Hot Springs kit.
Oh, we're being chased
by
Dorfa goons.
We are? When was that established?
I guess it's for the sake of this part of the main story. Weird.
When the writers want something to happen, it just happens. That's it. That's the logic here.
Like, I'll admit, us being randomly chased by Dorfa spies, or guys, or whatever, sounds like something that should happen in a side quest, not like what's supposed to be a main quest. Oh, so that's why.
Again, the idea is that the scene opens from the perspective of Apollonius, we get the party stumbling into him, and we were doing stuff, and that's how we got here.
It's typical, so why does it feel so cumbersome in this game?
Because the way it's presented, you know, they only now explain that.
You know, I'm not even somebody who sometimes minds telling over showing. Like, sometimes I get why narratives will do it. It's just, this game's way of doing it is noticeably clunky, unfortunately.
It depends on what you're trying to convey to the audience. Like, something like, for example, say in look at Inception, for example. When they explain how the dream logic works in that movie, obviously they have to explain it verbally because there's a lot of complicated rules that you have to follow. So you can't. So you have to use words for that. Like, it's kind of, same thing with time travel stories, where you have to explain the logistics of what kind of time travel you're going for. Like in Back to the Future, when Doc explains the whole timeline process in Back to the Future Part 2, right?
Or how you say that changing the future changes the past.
Oh, God,
yes, that too.
You know, that still is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in a Square Enix property. And trust me, that's saying something.
I understand that time travel is a fictional concept and therefore you can do whatever you want, but at least have your inner logic
You
makes.
mentioned his sister.
Yeah, like Pedro mentioned, the sister is mentioned, but she just doesn't show up.
No,
And
That's
again,
fine.
I guess this is, again, like you guessed, Jova, I guess this is the reason why Apollonius joins the party.
I mean she has a sprite from the original game. Can't you just reuse that?
If I recall correctly, she didn't really have that
It's
much
also
presence
weird
in the game.
because outside of her and the inn owner, and maybe a few minor other things, almost everyone else is back. It feels very arbitrary.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh yeah, this is one of those moments where Fang is being quote-unquote
See,
noble.
again, the thing that I mentioned in the previous part, the idea, if the game had an explanation like Fang being, imbued by the power of a goddess, probably, or being a construct, from her in order to bring order to the world, moments like this would make more sense, Fang is kind of an idiot, but, in the time of crisis, he's a catalyst in order to inspire others and bring, peace to the world. That would make
Also,
sense. But
Let me
we don't
Also,
really
I
get
noticed-
anything of the sort.
go on.
Also, I'm noticing another pattern here. We will repeat scenes from the original game, but this time have the new characters inserted in and have them essentially react to those scenes. Like, hey, what if this happened, but these guys were here?
I think either you, Pedro, or both actually mentioned one of the early parts, but this feels a lot like a fan fiction, basically.
Yeah, but it's okay. Let me.
Basically, we need to fight
Alright.
him to demonstrate our passion. Okay.
Well, that was a thing in the original game too. So
Yeah, classic, sure.
no, see, look at, for example, I can bring an example too. Like, look at Akari from 100 Girlfriends, where one of our primary things is that she's horny. But if you pay attention, you'll notice that she helps the other girls a lot. Like starting with Shizuka in episode 4, where she even tells her, "It's okay, don't worry. Renter has enough love for all of us." You're thinking, and don't worry about Karani. She's always pissed off anyway. That's just how she is. And then of course we have her helping her, making Nano realize that no, actually, Renter would also be troubled if something were to happen to you too, regardless of how little you've spent time with us yet. And everything, and the same thing with in episode 9, where she lets Kuzuri have the photo instead of her, sacrificing her own chance to fulfill that dream she has. So Akari has something beyond her horniness that is shown to us that makes episodes 10 and onward feel earned. There's nothing of that sort
That
for
is
Fang
true,
here.
but that's also a slice of life where something like that is pivotal in order for the plot to actually be, not only entertaining but actually engaging to the viewer. It's still supposed to be a fantasy at the end of the day, so it has to be basically a garnish that actually gives, flavor to the product.
That is true too, but at the same time, isn't that what the character episodes are for? Slice of life stuff that shows the
I
character.
didn't say that it should not be present.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
saying that,
Go ahead.
in two ways to measure. In some probably it's more
Oh,
important.
hold on to I have to. Either way, no chance. We should kill him now. There you go. That's classic. That's classic Sherman right there.
Oh,
Sherman. I love this part. I actually love this part because Fang's like, no, Sherman, bad.
Also, are they implying that the reason he was a dick in the original, Advent Dark Force, because in those moments he was technically possessed by the Val God or something?
okay. To give this game some benefit of the doubt, I wonder if what they're suggesting is that what Glass did was reveal his true nature, and that's why his eyes went like that when he was brainwashed, since her brainwashing him actually brought out his more malicious side.
I wasn't done, Pedro, but
So
whatever.
no. Go ahead then. Finish. Go ahead.
I'm waiting for the Daldi scene to be over.
平気で僕たちの寝込みも襲うでしょう。ドルファにそう命じられたらね。 だから私をここで切っておけ。
But if we don't do it, we can prove that we truly can be friends.
What is this friendship you're talking about?
疑い出すとキリがねえよな。あんな可能性。
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah, just insert your Sonic Unleashed joke here.
信じることにするわ。アポローネスはなんか大丈夫だって。
Oh, great. We're applying the Prometheus logic. No, but
Okay.
do you have any evidence to back that up? No, but it's what I choose to believe. Prometheus
Damn,
logic
Sherman
now.
really just came out the gate with that.
Stupid movie. Go ahead.
てかダラダラ話してたせいで望まねえお客さんが来ちまったじゃねえか
Made it awkward.
Suddenly,
Hi, Paiga.
Suddenly Paiga. Apollonius, you are really baka.
Yeah.
Really, Paiga? You're trying to act like the heel here? Okay, okay.
I'm sorry. I don't
Has
have.
Paiga been brainwashed? Because he is acting way big for his britches, all
No.
things considered.
There you go. The shoe just fell. The other shoe just fell.
His end is forced.
It's not like I'm okay with it, Baba Baka.
Oh.
血に染まっているみたいに感じて触れられるわけがない無垢で清い私の娘たちに
Damn. That's
汚れた
actually pretty sad.
I think you're exaggerating, Paiga. Like, don't blame yourself to that
Oh.
extent.
No, I think he has a point.
私には愛する妻と娘がいるんです
Like he said, compared to Mariana, Paiga actually has, a family that he keeps mentioning that he cares and loves about. So something like that will affect him to this degree.
ついでにそこにいる珍獣やゴミの清掃もお願いしますね
Is he referring to Pippin?
I don't know.
さて囲まれちまったわけだが
We are?
Yes,
Just pretend we're
imagine that we are.
surrounded.
互いに追われる
Pedro, just imagine we're
Yes.
surrounded and that there's an invisible crowd
Yes,
cheering us on.
of
Thank you
course.
very much.
Of course.
I guess it's still a neat way, for Apollonius to team up with the party. The idea that instead of just joining outright, they're basically kind of forced to do it for a battle.
Yeah, it's neat.
Alright.
背中は任せます
Moving on.
He's got your back, just like Katana. This is
That's our
Katana.
one
She's got
defining
my
trait.
back. All right, you were saying,
So,
Tio?
question first. So, do we actually have to fight Paiga in this fight? Nope, I guess
Nope.
not.
Well,
he
you
has
did
a
say to
fair
leave it
ice
to the
form.
guard.
He has a fair ice form, yes. But to be fair, I don't think the Katsumi is convinced that he's going to participate in the fight. To be fair.
Okay. Remember, his fair ice form is one of those bigger ones, mouse-like and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, mouse,
I've
yeah.
noticed. I don't think they've ever have they put any giant models of like that size on the battlefield.
No,
Yes.
it seems that each monster. Okay, there are some bigger monsters that we saw, but some of these bigger ones, like these mechs over here, tend to still be one square, big.
Yeah.
Possibly due to
What?
balancing stuff. Anyway, what I was saying again, I think Jobba's, comparison to Konosuba is more appropriate because, again, for the people in the audience who don't know, Konosuba's, except for me, the comedy, Konosuba's, characters are basically a collection of assholes,
Yes.
which constantly backstab each other, and get into shenanigans because they want to get money or XP because of that. Particularly Megumin and her explosions. But, the thing is that something we noticed also in Advent Dark Force is that despite the foundation of this game being a comedy RPG with similar factors, they want to have the cake and eat it too by having much more serious moments in order to be more emotional as well. And I think that's what's causing the dissonance because it's not reaching a level of harmony that it wants to.
No, the writers don't really. The writing in this series can rarely, if at all, manage both tones. It's really jarring when it happens. Also,
I need to mention for this fight I understand it, but for the fight when we fought, for example, Apollonius, the glass clothes being present just for the sake of balancing out Fleur's Muse abilities really start to make no sense because again, it's imperative that in each fight the opposite side needs to have a glass clone present in order for balancing, no matter how gameplay and story segregation that ends up being.
Yeah.
I get the idea that a solo duel with this kind of gameplay might have been a bit too rough, but again, have a bunch of monsters being present in the arena, you know, for balancing purpose. But again, the glass clone really just feels out of place for this, not for this fight. Again, for the previous one we had against Apollonius, and we had a couple of, you know, moments beforehand with some of those battles tied to the skits that really did not feel the need to have the glass clones.
Here's an idea: if you're so worried about balance, instead of putting glass in, remove Fleur. Like you can just make it.
Tell you that she cannot join this.
Make it so that you know, write a line in the cutscene where Fleur is staying back to do something or something.
And it's not like you have to do for everything. It's just for a matter of a bunch of fights specifically for that to make sense. You know. Yeah.
Then again, as you yourself noted in the original run, this series is not good at this because remember that excuse that they did where suddenly Tiara and Eren decide to just stop fighting altogether as an excuse for Fang to fight the characters solo in the Chukezo's Tower. You yourself even said it sounds like an excuse gameplay-wise, but they could have arranged a better excuse plot-wise. Instead, the characters just say, "Oh, we're not gonna fight these monsters because they look ugly and everything." It's like, come on, like, is it really that hard to think of a better excuse for this shit? Anyway, we're almost done. We just have to take down Glass. Or, sorry, Glass Shadow, as it's called.
Yeah.
The true self.
Remind me, does Glass show up in the fight with Apollonius too?
Yeah, so like that's exactly the thing I was complaining about, Jova.
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, like you mentioned, it's weird. Like, I get it. Glass is your gimmick, but you don't have to use her in every single battle. Like, we get it. She has wide influence, but if you use her even in battles where it legit does not make sense, unless it's revealed later on, oh, actually, I was backing up Apollonius as part of my plan because, I don't know, something like Organization 13's plot in Kingdom Hearts 2 where every battle makes her stronger regardless of whose side she's on or whatnot.
The developers came up with the concept of her being able to create a shadow version of herself far away, and they just left it at that. And they thought this would be enough to
honestly, for the regular fights, I understand. It's just that for some story plots, it just feels dissonant.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess Paiga really did retreated.
Yep.
Okay, I had to wonder, could they not program bigger enemies onto the battlefield? Because
I think we had a couple of bigger enemies in some of previous fights. Like I think there was a dragon or two there.
Maybe they're saving Paiga and Mariana's boss forms? Either that or I'm legit drawing a blank as to the logic. But hey, at the very least, I'll agree with Tio that I do like this means as Apollonius joining us. Also, Sherman, you don't get to talk. We trust you when, well, you're secretly Virgil.
As an ambiguously older man that will never be given an age.
An ambiguously older man voiced by Christina V in English.
Sure, it's not bad advice, I suppose.
Yep.
Again, I'll give Pippin credit. I do feel like his advice rings more often here than in Advent Dark Force.
Again, the idea is not played as much more for comedy as, you know, they're trying to actually, you know, do something.
Which, yeah, again, I guess it's consistent enough, but I can say that, yeah, while it may feel a bit out of character, I do feel like, for the most part, the characters are improved on in here compared to how they were in Advent.
That's the thing, Joel. Again, what I do agree with you technically. I also understand where Pedro is coming from because it's basically a roller coaster. We keep going up, down, up, down, up, down. It's never a consistent thing.
No.
That is true. That is true. Like, sometimes it feels better, other times it does feel more dragged out, and yeah, and other times we do get classic Fairy Fencer stupidity. The ride truly never ends.
It's like, also, Apollonius, I like to see that. Oh yeah, right, now Fang and Eren and Tiara just swooned over Fang because he was able to convince Apollonius with the diplomacy and shit, blah, blah, blah. But, Also, Apollonius, if you want the quote-unquote power to protect... It's chapter 11, a difference of commitment. If you want the power to protect your sister, Apollonius, here's an idea. Actually go back home and be near her. Because...
Go home and be a family man.
As she herself says in Advent Dark Force, you're never home, so how the hell are you supposed to protect your sister if you're always away from her, you idiot?
But you see, I'm out saving the world.
Are
Then
you?
I can go and
Are you
see
though?
her.
Are you though?
It's the Barrett kind of thing.
No, but hold on. Barrett leaves Marlene with somebody to take care of her always. You know.
But again, everyone did notice that again, for as much as he talked about, wanting to protect and save her, it did felt. That's why one thing I noticed from Rebirth, there actually are moments when the writing actually bothers to have Barrett have a few lines on why is he doing this despite leaving Marlene behind.
Also, special mention goes to Advent Children when he legit does kind of ditch Marlene off to be an oil factory owner.
God.
The exact opposite of what he was doing as the leader of
I'll
Avalanche.
talk about that for a more poignant point. For the time being,
というか一人で行ったのも気に食わねえ。いい子気取りやがって。
Eh.
それに一人では行ってないし、掃除についてきてもらったもん。
あのイケメンと二人で高級レストラン。
Oh my god.
oh my Fang!
And jealousy is unbecoming of you.
Is it? I don't know. This just seems like his usual.
If he had any kind of ornament on his head or in his neck, I could say that at least that one is cutting oxygen to his brain. But no, we don't even have that.
Like, remember Pedro. Okay, maybe occasionally, but Fang's biggest trait has never really been jealousy.
Yeah,
honestly.
I can. Yeah, Aaron, I can definitely see why you have a thing for him. Definitely.
Well, remember, Pedro, as AJ pointed out to Rin earlier, Fang's true persona is one of that with a good heart. Hence how he was able to win over Apollonius.
Keep telling yourself that game.
I mean,
ちょくちょくどこか
he does show that good side, so...
Well, that's the thing, Jova. Those are seem to be an abusive relationship. Sure, he does all this, but he does have a good heart deep down. No, that's not how it works.
Well, admittedly, when you put it like that, yes, it does come off as very, very, very messed up.
It would be like if you had a character who murders and steals, and then you try to have a moment where he helps a old lady cross the street as a moment to show, oh, see, he's not that bad of a guy.
So you mean what Marvel writers do with Venom did with Venom back in the, say, the 2000s?
Yeah.
I mean...
What's our favorite food? I'm curious.
Now, granted,
about that.
later writers did look into the nuance of redeeming Venom as an
And yeah,
anti-hero, but...
And yeah, this plot point comes back, where every time Flora tries to remember something about the past, she always forgets.
Whoa, you have amnesia too? Just like Aaron? What's going on here?
Do we really need more than one amnesiac?
Candy praise.
何かがおかしいんです。この間もそうだったし、違和感があるんです。
I wonder why that's the case.
Yeah, Fleur, maybe you really did not join Soldier after all.
I really need to cut down on the drugs.
Oh god, if it turns out that glass is actually like the original
Is
floor
it?
or something.
Is it, Pippin?
ピピン、手合わせ感謝する。そなたの手数の多さは驚嘆
I
に
guess Pippin taught Apollonius a few combat moves.
Yeah, but
Show me a move.
he did, but we can't animate that because it's too expensive. So
Oh, shit.
Come on.
Oh my god, that's right. I don't think we have even in-game cutscenes like Advent Dark Force.
no,
We do not.
no. Advent Dark Force had model cutscenes, but again, we have to. Every single cutscene in this one is visual novel style, and since with mostly reused sprites and animations.
That's right, because
it's not even that good looking in visual novel.
like the models are pretty much stuck to strictly only battle.
You know what's interesting? This is a 2023 game. In the same year that this game came out, they also came out with the new mainline Neptunia game, Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters. Okay,
The crossover with Pedro and
okay. It's I'm talking about Sisters vs. Sisters here specifically. It's technically a spin-off still, but it's a sequel to V2 still. It takes place after. Because
My God, an actual mainline sequel?
yeah, it took him long enough, right? Yeah, but I'll talk about that when we get to Neptunia. The point is, in that game, if you look up some cutscenes, some visual novel cutscenes from that game on YouTube, the characters actually move more. Like they actually have some.
Again, we established in the previous parts of it that this is strange from the company's behavior because it genuinely is, cheaper made than other products, and it really feels weird because even at our worst, the company has not done to this kind of level.
It's abundantly clear that this game.
To expect something, but again, this feels odd even for the standards.
It's abundantly clear that this was. I'm honestly convinced that the reason this game exists because someone at Compile Heart really wanted to make it, and they were able to get the green light, but with a slash in the budget compared to Advent Dark Force. That's the feeling I get because Idea Factory basically treated this game like an afterthought, marketing-wise, and of course even localization-wise because no English dub. Even though
also, I guess Pippin is like the Joker. He tells a bunch of tales, but apparently none of them are real true.
You know what I am? I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't even know if I got one. I just do things.
I mean, what's all in a backstory? If I'm going to have a backstory, I'd rather it be multiple choice.
Alright. Blah, blah, blah.
Thanks for your patronage.
Thanks for your patronage, blah, blah. Go ahead.
I mean, it's weird. Part of me wants to feel like they treated this as an afterthought, but another part of me can't help but acknowledge that it does feel like effort was being put in certain ways here or there. God, I really do want to know the full story behind this game. Why it is the way it is.
Oh, sure. I'm sure that the actual developers themselves put in as much effort as they could. Problem is, there's only so much.
Oh my god!
You actually.
The real treasures of friends.
That I know that is something that the localization made, because even if the phrasing was similar, the way specifically the words are constructed, it's just for having a meme.
The real treasure was the furies we caught along the way.
I'm willing to believe that, yes, that was a slight change, but the meaning...
That's the thing.
So boring and needlessly complicated. Thank you. Go on.
In 5 years, this thing would be outdated as a result. That's the problem in getting memes in your games. Sure, good for working for the moment, but unless there's something very specific, like an inside joke or something like a tribute to our viewer, you are gonna have your products gonna be very outdated and potentially very sour in just a few years.
Like Neptunia, Neptunia Virtual Stars.
The made along the way meme is going to be one of the more timeless ones, but I do get your point still.
You see, everybody, I tell long stories. That's my joke.
Like imagine if Higurashi, for one of its more light-hearted kids, made a reference to the Chuck Norris facts, for example.
Oh my god, it's actually done? Yeah, are we done, Pippin?
No.
Oh.
It's a good thing Pippin doesn't have a neck, so, Paiga cannot strangle him. Did I make that joke in the original Advent Dark Force?
I don't think. I don't think he did. I listened to that commentary various times. I don't think he did. No.
Weird. I'm seriously getting deja vu. Granted, it might have been another commentary involving a character who doesn't have a neck.
Maybe you're like Cloud Joe, but you have someone else's memories mixed with yours.
Yes.
Okay, remind me again. The four Heavenly Stars. One is Apollonius, the other Mariana.
Apollonius, Paiga, and Bernard.
Okay.
Wait, no. I'm pretty sure the fourth one was Zenke.
No. Zenke is not a Heavenly Czar.
Zenke is more of a minor agent, similar to Zagi.
Or Galdo, back when he was working with Dorfa.
No, Bernard was a Heavenly Czar. That would make him the only Heavenly Czar.
You have to remember, Jovan. While Bernard acts as a leader, Dorfa is supposed to have a president that Bernard is answering to. The problem is that in this...
No, sorry, go on. Sorry.
The problem is that there you go, Hanagata. The problem is that unless aside from this passive mentioning, President Hanagata showed up for only one cutscene, and he probably will not have much relevance in the rest of the game.
It's a good thing you mentioned that, Teo. But I'll let Jova go first. Go on, Jova.
Actually, I'm checking the wiki, and yes, Senke is one of the 4 heavenly
is
stars
he?
of Dorfa.
Oh, is he?
Okay.
I distinctly remember Ivan Dark Force saying that Bernard is one.
Let me check and see if Bernard is...
It's so weird, because I remember them saying...
Well, I guess maybe Paiga is not.
No. Oh, okay. Bernard is often accompanied by the 4 heavenly czar, but no, he is not one of them.
You know what? Fuck it. It's a good thing I don't care.
Anyway, we're talking again about the fact that Dorfa is experimenting on... Again, the party is asking about Apollonius, what does he know?
Yeah.
Again, who the mysterious man is hooded?
It could be anyone. It's not like, narratively speaking, it must be somebody we've already met, and that's why they're hiding his face.
Mm-hmm.
Albert?
I wonder who this Albert is.
Albert.
Albert is a common name.
No, I get that, Teo, but a genius scientist who lived long ago. No. Now, what did Pippin randomly say to Al when he met him? Yeah, as you can see, the foreshadowing to who the villain is not exactly subtle and hard to figure out.
If I were to give the game the benefit of the doubt, could be a red herring.
Keep in mind, again, another thing that I wouldn't go so much is to jump the gun like Pedro did. We don't have a motive yet for anything. There is technically no story reason why Al would act like this.
Well, that's what backstories are for. I'm sure they'll reveal something.
That's my point. I don't think while it feels like a coincidence, it's not really immediately having all the elements to jump the gun.
Sure.
Damn.
Really?
A weapon to surpass the goddess in the
A new weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
So, I guess in that case, this explains why we won't be dealing with the vile god.
Because it's something much more important than the 2 deities.
Let me just answer Teo something. It's a good thing you brought up Anagata, Teo, because ever since the last time we talked about Anagata and me saying that he's only in that one cutscene, I actually forgot, because turns out he's in one more cutscene after that. So not one cutscene, Teo, 2 cutscenes. So
I guess it's
if it helps you.
I think it's a testament that we should be actually having all the games recorded before starting.
Oh well, okay, two.
Probably.
Well, we keep making mistakes like this.
Well, we're only human, to be fair. I mean,
true, but we can do better.
Yeah, I kind of do see the benefit in having recorded the whole games in advance so that we have a better idea of when to gauge the stuff, especially for the commentaries. But I digress.
Okay.
No shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think he's channeling the audience right now, I guess.
Yep.
Is the game critiquing itself right now?
No, again, it's lamp trading, it's cliches. Again, it's something that they did even Adventure since the start.
Yeah, this is what I mean when I say that this game is a more serious Konosuba, because this is classic Konosuba. Have something that's supposed to come off as serious, but then have it be deconstructed and critiqued in humorous fashion. Again, to be fair, yes, even Konosuba can have its serious moments, but those serious moments still always have an air of being tongue-in-cheek, whereas with Fairy Fencer F, the reason I call it a more serious Konosuba is that, no, there are definitely scenes we're supposed to take dead serious in this, which, can come up as
we haven't seen you for a while.
Alright, here's some development for Sherman here.
Oh, the old you, so there I guess
it really is the case where the brainwash him, traumatized him that much.
Yeah, I just wish that they could have explained the transition better, but I guess
I really,
implication.
again, I really get the feeling this new writer really wanted to reinvent Sherman to not always turn out to be a bad guy.
Well, there you go. Sherman has changed his ways.
This
Hooray.
character arc feels very underdeveloped. To be honest with you, it doesn't really feel like much thought was put into it.
How sad is it that I'm relieved they're actually acknowledging it? Because, yeah, for a lot of the plot, they weren't even really acknowledging it.
Meanwhile,
At the Legion of Doom!
Oh, great.
Hi,
Finance
There he is.
meeting.
there he is. Hey, Anagata, I'm still in the game, guys.
You know, Hanagata does have a smiling sprite. The least you could do is use
Yeah,
that when
that's a
he's
good point.
laughing.
Anagata had a full sprite in the original game. Why aren't you using that? What, did Anagata got demoted even though he's the fucking president of Shera of this game?
Like, if you think you shouldn't, at this point he's that expendable, have his introductory cutscene the bit where Bernard betrays him, huh? Because we know that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
But now, fuck that shit, because we have an whole army of artificial fencers, so we're just gonna take over the world.
To show the irony, the heroes think they know the plan, but they're just as much in the dark as
So there you go.
bad guys want them to
Anagata
You don't
is
need the Vile
the
God.
Anagata is not giving up on the Vile God, but as we all know, Bernard has other plans because, as we all know, he's a descendant of the Vile God. So
Yeah.
obviously,
Finally, we don't need the Vile God.
well, Hanagata, I think, doesn't know that, I think.
yeah, no, he does not. How sad is it that we have a fairy prince where the goddess and the Vile God barely come into play in the story?
Well, I guess I think I mentioned, but again, it does give a bit of intrigue, the idea that there's an external force that goes beyond them.
And to be fair, I think
That's
supposed
kind of
to be...
that's kind of what the same thing that the evil goddess was in the extra round of Advent Dark.
Well, yeah, true, but like at the same time, I honestly tell me you don't know what to do with the two primary entities that this entire franchise was built upon.
Well, to be fair, like Tim mentioned, the Evil Goddess route was pretty much showing that a new entity came out that pretty much made the Vile God and the Goddess worthless in terms of power scaling here and there.
Yeah, but
I
that was an alternate timeline to the other two. In this specific game, there's no Vile God and Goddess to be had, really.
True, but they did mention that the weapon ideally constructed by that famed Albert was enough to even take on the Vile God and win. Huh?
And keep in mind also, technically this is a divergence in time, just one that occurs differently. Because what's different? Well, Glass and Company are involved, so technically that would make these other time routes as well. Not in the orthodox sense with the whole rewinding time and whatnot, but a divergence.
I get
butterfly effect.
No, I get that. I get that the lore of Advent Dark Force is generic as fuck, but somehow removing it makes it even worse for me.
Go.
Wait, sending Mariana after them?
しかし殺す必要があるのですか。彼が持っている情報なんてたかが知れている
Outdated
でしょう。
information.
私も同様。
It's a matter of principle, I guess.
Bernard really wants to fulfill that
There you go.
Sephiroth quota.
That's literally, yeah.
I mean,
You
I
betrayed
guess
Dorfa, that is basically you signing your own death warrants.
I guess Bernard really wanted to be polite and not spill blood in the building, because I'm pretty sure you could have just, killed him yourself.
Remember, he
You
did that in
shot
Advent Dark Force. In Advent Dark Force, he literally kills. Yes, Sherman killed Anagata in the middle of that room that we just.
And I get the idea that now Mariana is also smelling, that the tide is not really in their favor.
So I'm guessing Mariana will also join the party too.
You're just now realizing this, honey?
Well, okay, to be fair, we haven't gotten to see too many scenes of her, so I get the feeling this is a culmination. Oh, there you go. Oh, so she does care for the... Oh, I'm guessing in this regard, Like she's hoping for the well-being of the children.
I get the idea is it's a bit more selfish thing. She cares only about the children of her orphanage. The one that need to be experimented, fuck them, I guess.
Well, actually, it's not that. It's not so much that, but again, I'll talk about it when we actually get to the proper confrontation between her and Apollonius. So, see you for the next part, everybody.
See ya.
All right then.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.